But some argue that you can charge administrative fees or things like this.
Okay, so let's not first of all call it interest.
Okay.
And we can say that, well, whatever administrative costs are being incurred, they have to be recovered by the project. That's very much okay, that's fine. So I would say that the label is problemsome, and of course the level of it is also problemsome if it's 18%.
So if we just
Islamically, you could do musharaka or partnership-based
We can
contracts.
always have a musharaka or a mudaraba type of structure.
So how does your organization, Imtiyaz, get around this issue, or because, interest is haram, so how do you
We
deal
actually
with
license from Dow Jones Islamic Index.
Yeah.
So we license a list
What
of
does Dow
stocks.
Jones Islamic Index
What the
mean?
Dow Jones is,
it's
sorry.
a new expression.
Dow Jones is a company in New York.
Yes.
That
No, I know
is
the
well
Dow
known,
Jones,
right.
but I've never heard
So
the
the
Islamic
Islamic Index is a list of companies that are Sharia compliant, and what that
Who
means,
created this index? Sorry.
Dow Jones did.
They did?
And there are
That's
Sharia
good to
scholars
know.
on their board, like Nizam
There's a
Yaqubi.
15-member board of
Yeah.
prominent Islamic Sharia scholars.
That's good to know. I've never known this
do
fact
that
before.
selection.
And they've done the analysis. They've excluded publicly traded companies that are involved in liquor, financial, riba, interest, or any other sin company, anything that's haram, that's forbidden in Islam.
Yeah.
And they provide us with that list. Our fund managers analyze those stocks and pick and choose and do the asset allocation. And therefore, we have two funds today. We have the Frontier Alt Oasis World Fund, which invests in companies throughout the world, including Canada, and Frontier Alt Oasis Canada Fund.
I'd like you to hold on to the thoughts. We have to go for a break. Please stand by. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to Spirit of Islam. Today we are discussing Islamic financing and microfinancing. And I'd like to start with you again, Imtiyaz. You were telling us about the Dow Jones Islamic Index,
yes.
and how do you conduct your business when you tell us it's Sharia compliant?
Sure. Well, firstly, we have two mutual funds that have prospectus. These are mutual funds that investors can invest. They're RSP eligible. And the investors do not have to worry about filtering stocks that might be forbidden. They don't have to worry about pulling out the interest portion. Everything is done for them. And
could I ask what's the return on this? Because everybody always asks what's the return on the fund.
And the Dow Jones Islamic Index, the Canadian index, has done well over the last 5 years.
Alhamdulillah.
It's alhamdulillah, it's grown over 140%. And the Dow Jones Islamic World Index, annually they're looking at 22% return. Now, mind you, over the last 3 years that we've had a bull market, so just want to...
But let's put it in perspective. How does that compare to other funds?
They're comparable, and sometimes they're better. Some critics out there would say that you are limiting yourself. Actually, investing Islamically is better because you are not exposing yourself to highly leveraged companies that have a lot of debt load. And as we all know, Enron's a good example. I was talking to a fund manager in the US who has the largest Sharia compliant fund in the US, and they held Enron. And they actually sold Enron right before Enron blew up.
My concern is how does funds like yours help small businesses, whether it's Muslim small businesses or others? Because if we only invest in large businesses, we're getting out of this microfinancing where we're saying we're helping the needy people to grow, and small business and medium-sized businesses need these funds to grow. Well-established business like you're telling us about, it's nice to, I'm always interested how we can help others and grow. Do you have any thoughts there, Doctor?
You see, basically what they're doing, they are in high finance.
Yes.
High street finance, as it's called in the UK. And which is a need which has to be met also.
Yeah.
There are asset managers, there are other financial institutions whose requirements have to be met. So you don't have to mix up high street finance with microfinance. Okay, that's number one. But even while they are conducting the high street finance, who they are helping is people like yourself and myself and yourself. Because we do have our own financial investment needs.
Yes.
We do have to invest for our RRSPs and RESPs and things like that.
Take the tax benefit of it.
Take the tax benefits. We have to have our own insurance policies and things. And as believers in Islam, we want to make sure that we are Sharia compliant and we are not doing anything which is contrary to the dictates of Islamic Sharia. So they are doing all this work and doing it in the field, and me as a financial scholar, Sharia scholar, my function is also to make sure that there is a continuing compliance of all of their activities with the Sharia requirements.
And I agree with this compliance, but I think a portion of the funds should go to small and medium-sized businesses to help these businesses.
If you analyze our prospectus, if I may interject.
Okay.
I'm not criticizing you guys, by the way. It's
in
a
our
general
prospectus,
feel.
and I encourage investors to read our prospectus. And if you analyze the prospectus, it does say that there is a 5% of the total funds can be invested in private equity deals. So what are private equity deals? Small financings for, let's say, mid-sized companies that are growing. But to address this point about helping the small business owner, the Muslim community is the most underserved market out there. They need advisors, and they need to trust advisors to guide them along. A small business owner does not realize how many tax benefits he or she has unless they have an advisor who they can work with to take advantage of the tax loopholes. So if there are Sharia compliant products, then that small business owner is comfortable in working with an advisor. There's one challenge we have today in Canada. A lot of people put up their hands and just say, give up. I'm not going to put money in my RSPs. I'm not going to do nothing because it's all haram. No, we need to work with our advisors, and they have access to our mutual funds. And we have many other funds that are coming down. So to answer the question, we do have funds coming out in the future that will focus on, let's say, income producing.
I'll give you an example. I had a young Muslim person come to me last week, and he's an entrepreneur and he needs fund. No bank is going to fund. You know, he's got a great idea, he's been putting his own money. But the issue is, how do you help young people like this? They need the financing, they have great ideas.
We actually have an investment banking branch as well. So for small startups, we do analyze the business plans, but you have to understand that we are responsible with the public's money. So aside from our mutual funds, aside from our mutual funds, we have institutional money and mandates to invest into small businesses. So we do work with other companies out there that are involved in that space.
That's fair enough.